ASAP Rocky's trial has officially started, and it's already a mess. Robin is losing it, and people are saying Rihanna looks heartbroken. Who wouldn't be? Her man, the father of her kids, could miss their birthdays for the next 20 years. And the courtroom? Pure chaos. The judge is out here flirting with Rocky's mom, witnesses are dropping shocking claims, and his lawyers have a serious battle ahead. Rocky's lawyers are making some bold moves, and the prosecution didn't see it coming. The drama is already wild, but here's the real shocker. The prosecution offered Rocky a deal. All he had to do was plead guilty to one felony assault charge, take anger management classes, do some community service, and he'd avoid jail time. But Rocky said no. Now, the internet is completely split. Some think he's crazy for passing up what they're calling an easy way out, while others say the deal was garbage and not worth taking. Some people think Rocky made the right choice because they believe he didn't even do what he's being accused of. Others are saying this feels just like Tory Lanez's case. If Tory got 10 years, things aren't looking good for Rocky. But is it really that bad? And where does Rihanna fit into all of this? Let's break it down. If you haven't been keeping up, here's the deal. ASAP Rocky is on trial for allegedly firing a gun at his own friend, A AP Relli, who's actually part of his crew. Wild, right? So how did we even get here? Let's get into it. At first, this case seems simple. Either Rocky did it or he didn't. End of story, right? But nope, this whole thing is messier than a reality show. People online are saying there shouldn't even be a case. It all started when ASAP Rocky and A AP Relli got into a fight. Why? Because Relli thought Rocky didn't pay for a crew member's funeral. And from there, things just kept getting worse. Before ASAP Rocky became the star he is today, he was just another member of the ASAP mob. That's where the ASAP in his name comes from. The group started in 2006 in Harlem, New York, and it wasn't just rappers. It had producers, video directors, and fashion designers too. You could tell who was in the crew because they all had ASAP in their names. ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, ASAP 12, ASAP Relli, and more. Since Rocky became the biggest name and probably the richest, people naturally started expecting a lot from him. As Rocky became the face of the ASAP mob, people expected him to take care of his crew, especially when it came to important stuff. So, when one of the members passed away in 2021, everyone thought Rocky would help pay for the funeral. But ASAP Relli thought Rocky had let the gang down and didn't cover the costs. He decided to confront him, and things got heated just a block away from the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The argument took a dangerous turn when Rocky pulled out a gun. Things took a wild turn when Rocky pointed the gun at Relli. There's CCTV footage showing part of the fight, where Rocky and Relli are going at it. Someone tries to break them up, but then Rocky pulls out a gun. He quickly puts it away, though. But Relli says that wasn't the end. He claims Rocky pulled out the gun again and fired, grazing his knuckles with one of the bullets. Relli says he got medical help when he flew back to LA. Here's the weird part. Relli didn't go to the police until days after the incident. If you've been shot at and hit, you think the first thing you do is get help and call the cops. But Relli waited. That's got people wondering why. Taking days to report what happened definitely seems off, and Rocky's team is using that to argue he didn't do what they're saying. The best footage they have is blurry and doesn't show everything. Right now, both sides are depending on witness testimony, but the prosecution's main witness, ASAP Relli, isn't convincing anyone that Rocky hit him. In fact, Rocky's fans are calling Relli more than just a jealous friend. They're calling him a snitch. They're saying, instead of handling things quietly within the crew, he went straight to the cops. Fans believe that's something only a rat would do. Rocky's lawyers are using that as part of their defense too. In his opening statement, Rocky's lawyer, Joe Takapa, said this case is all about jealousy and greed. He called it a clear attempt at extortion, plain and simple. But that's just one of the many messy things that have happened so far. The trial kicked off on Friday, January 24th, and already the jury has caused a lot of drama online. The jury's made up of 7 women and 5 men, and people are definitely talking about it. The jury is made up of 7 women and 5 men, but not one of them is black. Fans online are calling this into question, especially since both the accused and the alleged victim are Black, and the trial is happening in Los Angeles. People are asking how there wasn't a single Black person on the jury for such a high-profile case. Believe it or not, Reverend Al Sharpton even got involved, voicing his concerns about the jury selection. He said he's been in touch with ASAP Rocky's friends and is keeping a close eye on the case. Even though I don't know all the details of the trial, I do know Rocky deserves a fair trial with a jury of his peers, as the Constitution promises. It's crazy that the jury doesn't seem to represent the community, especially with so many Black people in Los Angeles. Out of 106 potential jurors, not one was Black, not even in the first 30 candidates. Something about this just doesn't feel right. And it gets even weirder. The police investigation into the case has raised some concerns too. Things got even stranger when Relli finally reported the incident. The police showed up to investigate, but couldn't find any evidence of a shooting. No shell casings, nothing at all. But then, get this, Relli supposedly went back to the scene after the police had already searched it. And wouldn't you know it? He found shell casings there, which he brought to the police as evidence. The police, who are trained to look for things like this, didn't find anything, but somehow Relli did. That's got people seriously questioning what's going on. It's pretty strange that Relli just happened to find the shell casings and hand them to the police. Honestly, it's hard to imagine a jury buying that story. But what really had fans confused was when Rocky turned down the plea deal. Right now, he's facing 2 counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and if he's found guilty, he could get up to 24 years in prison. So, when the prosecution offered him a plea deal, a lot of people thought he'd take it. The deal would have had Rocky plead guilty to 1 count of felony assault, serve 6 months in jail, get a 7-year suspended sentence. If you're concerned about rejecting the plea deal, a lot of people felt like Rocky should have taken the deal because compared to 24 years in prison, it's much better. Plus, he doesn't have to actually spend any time in jail provided he doesn't violate the terms of his probation or commit another crime. However, other fans believe Rocky was right not to take the deal. For one, if he says he's innocent, then he should get his day in court. But also fans are saying that the plea deal will effectively end Rocky's career. One source close to him told TMZ this would effectively end his career because he would lose all of his endorsement contracts, including Gucci, Puma, the Met Gala, and most important, he would not be able to tour, and his career would be over. The source added they would have him under their thumb for over 8 years. Let's not forget that the plea deal would also make sure the 1 count of felony assault he pleads guilty to goes on his record, so it might be a good deal compared to 24 years, but if there's a chance that he gets to walk away from all this without any jail time or blemish on his record, then it makes sense for him to take his chances. And from the court proceedings, so far it looks like the odds are stacked in Rocky's favor. If you thought things were messy, prepare yourself for the biased plot twist in this case. Yet Rocky's defense team is claiming that there wasn't even any real firearm to begin with, that it was a prop gun. Rocky's lawyer Joe Takapa told the jury that Rocky did fire something, a starter gun that he had bought to scare off attackers after he was the victim of an earlier attack, and a stalker. According to Takapa, Rocky fired it twice, hoping the sound would be enough to scare off REI and protect Il's another friend who was present during the altercation. However, the prosecutors fired back, saying Rocky fired a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. They even played a 911 call made by a woman who claimed she witnessed the incident, and they displayed the photo of the thing they believe Rocky fired. But it would turn out that the police raided Rocky's house shortly after his arrest, and they did find some firearms, but they were all registered. The 9mm semi was never found at Rocky's house either. So where did it come from? Well, according to the prosecution, the semi came from Rocky. They shocked Rocky and his lawyer by pulling up ballistics report that apparently proved that Rocky fired a gun at REI. Rocky's legal team was not having it, and they argued that the defense blindsided them with the information, so there was no way the case could go on unless they figured it out. And here's where the judge dropped another shocker. Rocky's has just 1 day to get an expert to review the ballistics report. The court will even pay for it. But Basic Al, the judge, is saying this bombshell is not going to slow down the trial. Now it's looking like Rocky should have taken that plea deal. After all, some fans are comparing this case to the Tory Lanez case because they're kind of similar, and Tory got 10 years. They're worried that Rocky might end up like Tory, or worse. In December 2022, Tory was convicted of 3 felonies: assault with A semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. This was after he allegedly shot rapper Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. At first, it seemed like the case was going in Tor's favor. He and his minions launched a smear campaign against Megan, and he played the whole God-fearing, devoted father angle. However, everything backfired, and he ended up getting sentenced to 10 years in prison. Obviously, the cases are different for many reasons. Firstly, Tory shot a famous woman. Rocky allegedly shot a less-known member of his crew. True, the evidence was stacked up against Tory, and the media was not fond of him after his smear campaign against Megan became obvious. With Rocky, the evidence against him is shaky at best, and he's a good-look fashion boy married to a superstar billionaire. Although he has had some run-ins with the law in the past, his PR team works overtime because Rocky is not really associated with violence or gangbanging or any of that the media loves him. Even the judge is a fan. Sure, the judge tried to play the whole "you will not be treated differently because you're a celebrity" card, but he was also openly flirting with Rocky's mom in court. On the record, the judge thinks your mom is gorgeous. She is feel like your why. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. As for Rihanna, sources are saying she is not doing well with this trial despite her and Rocky putting up a brave front. Riri has been feeling the pressure of this case since day one in 2022 when she was heavily pregnant. She and Rocky were ambushed at the airport in relation to this case. They had been returning from their vacation to Barbados when LA police stopped them at the airport and arrested Rocky. The whole thing was very stressful for Riri, and it definitely left a scar. According to sources close to them, Riri suffered anxiety attacks at that time, and she was afraid the stress might push her into early labor. Luckily, none of that happened, but having to go through the trial while working and taking care of the kids. Honestly, anyone would be feeling the pressure. The judge has allowed cameras to be brought into the courtroom, so every moment of this messy case will be televised. In the meantime, share your thoughts about Rocky's trial in the comments. Also, do you think Rocky is being set up? Let us know down below. And then check out this next video.